Hello, guys, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. What a win for India! It was a nervous chase. Fans, for especially for fans, I think not for the team, but yes, fans थोड़ा nervous हो गए थे. After the situation at Bangladesh, where in 35 for 5, when I thought of taking an early leave from office, I was thinking, what's the point? Because it's 35 for 5, and what am I gonna do? Take an early leave for? Because the match is going to get over within the first half. But it was a sensational fight back from Tawhid Ridoy and Jakir Ali, first of all, thanks to some dropped catches. First Rohit, then Hardik, and also a missed stumping by Gill, which allowed Bangladesh to actually resurrect their innings and reach a target of 228. We will come to that part of the innings a bit later, but first I want to talk about the chase because, yes, it was a successful chase and 228. It was a trick. It can be a tricky target in ICC tournaments, which it may not be bilaterals. That's what I was saying, that bilaterals are very, very different from ICC tournaments because in ICC tournaments you also have to think about the net run rate, and I think somewhere in the middle that net run rate ka whole thing got us pretty muddled, and it got us very confused because we were absolutely flying off with 10 overs 70, and Virat comes in, and Virat and Shubman, they take their time in that phase, 10 overs to 10 to 20 overs. We scored 32 runs, and suddenly, if you have that kind of phase, you just accept it that today we are going to win the game. Today we are just going to win the game. We are not thinking about net run rate. But suddenly, after the fall of Virat's wicket, I don't know what was the message sent out there. Of course, Shreyas Iyer will play the way he plays. I'm not going to complain on that. And Akshar Patel also, went for a slog sweep. Surprisingly, Rishad was getting a little bit too tricky to handle there, and I think we got a bit confused. But Shubman Gill and KL Rahul kept their cool. Obviously, KL got a bit of luck there. I think that was very, very crucial. But even without that, I think India could have chased that. We must trust on Hardik and Jadeja, and even Kuldeep is a decent batter. He could have stayed along with the other end, and we could have got that target. We got the target quite comfortably. To be honest, it was a comfortable win. But Karthik, I just want to ask you, what do you make of this chase? I mean, overall 10 to 20 overs phase definitely is the one that has been bothering me. That what happened there from 70 to 30. I'm sure the conditions didn't dramatically change that much, and that caused, a kind of a confusion because we were also thinking about net run rate. We were also thinking about to win the game. Conditions became challenging around 20 to 30 overs also, and overall we were quite muddled there in our minds. What do you make of that chase overall? And of course, Shubman Gill, superb knockman. I really have to appreciate him. Another 100 in a chase. And this time he did play to the target. And also, Karthik, you remember that discussion we had about Asia Cup 2023? How similar was this game to that game, except we were not chasing a post, above 250 target like in that case. So, yes, your views now.
Yeah. Thanks, Shikhar. I think when it you asked me about the chase, I think there was nothing concerning about the chase. I think even that we were 70 for one, I thought Virat wanted to take his time. Maybe also wanted to accelerate once he crossed 2025. Didn't happen. The first real shot in anger he played, he got out. So, I mean, I think he'll be better off for the experience in the bigger games. And I would not nitpick on phases just for the sake of it, frankly. I think you should look at it from a holistic point of view. 70 for one, 10 overs in, no hurry for Virat to really start pushing momentum. He probably needed more balls in those conditions with Pakistan and New Zealand coming up, you know. They're much better teams, much better bowling attacks. Against New Zealand, that sort of score would have been a very tricky chase. Brilliant fielding, great spin bowling. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't blame Virat. I don't think there was any need to attack and really show intent. I think the only thing was probably he should have rotated a bit better,
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm
he
thinking.
he couldn't. But he
Hmm.
couldn't probably gauge the pitch, pace of the pitch well enough
Hmm.
to hit the gaps.
Hmm.
So those things happen on these surfaces. And he was not the only batsman who got out with the first shot of anger.
Hmm.
You look at Shreyas Iyer, you look at Akshar. In
Hmm.
the first one or two risks that they've taken, they got out. So clearly
Hmm.
told you that on that pitch, after the field restrictions are off, you know, uh, it's probably
But
not ideal.
do you really think that Virat would have been thinking about Pakistan game and New Zealand game when he's batting in that situation? Of
No,
course,
not about thinking about the future games, but more about sort of thinking about how he can get himself in on those surfaces, right? I mean, this is a stark difference to the pitches that we played against England.
hmm,
This is not turning tracks. These are
hmm,
not sporting wickets. These are what you would call sluggish wickets. They don't
hmm,
turn much. They don't come onto the bat either. They're a nightmare to watch cricket on because neither do you get really good bowling nor do you get really attractive batting. It's all about attrition. In Dubai, usually it's attrition cricket. You don't see a lot of high quality like spin or
hmm,
seam or batting. It's
hmm,
about who wins the battle of attrition.
hmm.
And India today played the battle of attrition perfectly.
Another thing, I know it was a clinical chase, and even Rohit said that it was a clinical chase, even though we were under pressure, but we had the experience to tackle it. But would you say that KL Rahul's template of playing a innings, like today he comes, he's 10 of 20, he plays that shot. Clearly, I would call that shot a brain fade. मतलब क्या जरूरत था उस समय उस शॉट खेलने का when you had shut down the shop on net run rate business. You had shut your shop down and you were like, we have to get the win because the people who were going to get you the net run rate are already gone. They are gone now. So your job was to shut the shop and play, singles play, rotate the strike, and suddenly out of nowhere KL Rahul plays that slog, and he's dropped by Jakir Ali. Jakir Ali ka din matlab ki from the best day of his life probably turned to the worst day of his life, dropping that catch. Uh, do
KL
you
would have
think?
been gone 9 of 19, and that would have been a pathetic innings.
Yeah, he would
Yeah,
have been 9 of 19. He would have gone that, and it would have been a pathetic innings. You are absolutely right. It
And
would have been.
commentators jinxed
it would have
Bangladeshi
also
fielding
put
because they were praising their
it,
fielding just before that.
it would have also been even more nervous chase given you
Hmm,
have Jadeja, Hardik coming in.
hmm,
Hardik is not entirely suited to these kind of chases. I think he
hmm,
likes the ball coming on a bit more.
hmm.
And here boundaries are also large. You see,
But
normally
why do you
on
think KL, what would have compelled KL to play a shot like that when it's not
no,
his
that's
game?
only
It's
internal. That's just internal demons because you are 10 of 20. People are urging you to show more intent and you
hmm,
want to break the shackles a little
that
bit.
is the entire
One
problem with him.
boundary,
Hmm,
it's
hmm.
the
Pant would
mental,
send a text
internal mental
message
struggle.
to Jacker Ali, you close the door for me.
He's he's
Yeah.
too affected. He's too affected with the external things. I think he's very much affected with the external
No, even
things.
internally, right? I mean, when you have not been able to, I
Hmm,
mean, recent England series, I
hmm,
call his batting in England series in situations that are nothing to gain situations. There, if he
hmm,
makes 15 not out and India wins, nobody
hmm,
talks about KL Rahul. But if he gets
hmm,
out, everybody talks about him because,
hmm,
hey, you can't even make 10 not out and cross the line, right? So
hmm.
he had everything to lose in the England series. Here, there was a game at
बट
stake.
बट
So I
कार्तिक
think he
मैं
deserves some luck.
मैं ये बोलूंगा कि केएल राहुल ने ये टेम्पलेट काफी बार फॉलो किया है इवन इन दैट इंग्लैंड मैच वर्सेस लखनऊ इन लखनऊ वर्सेस इंग्लैंड इन दैट ओडीआई वर्ल्ड कप he had a absolutely similar kind of thing. He started defending and then he played a shot of on David Willey. I remember it was David Willey who took Virat also that day, and he got out to him. just stepping out and going for a big hike. It's been a problem with him. I don't know how he to resolve that, but either he should be the guy who rotates strike like Gill did today wonderfully. But also, I'll come to Joydeep.
KL is a
He was actually, questioning Gill's. Do you think Joydeep Gill could have taken more initiative today, or do you think this was a knock which complicated things more than it simplified things? What is your take on
No,
that?
no, actually, guys, first of all, good to meet you after a very long amount of time. I am actually not here to talk about that as a primary thing. Maybe probably later on in the video we will discuss a few things. Probably there has been a lot of talk about the chase so much that we
Hmm.
completely forgot that from 5 wickets down, how did we let Bangladesh reach such a total?
awesome, awesome.
Again, going back to some
No, that's
numbers,
actually very important. That's actually
yeah.
very important.
So I have 2 points where I this
Hmm.
always like a 2 point format on cricket career videos from me. First is if you see the bowling charts, there are two Bangladesh bowlers who finished at 3.7 and 3.8 with full 10 over quota. That is better
Hmm.
than any other Indian bowler today. So in fact, I
Awesome.
think I started observing this metric mid match, and then I thought that it's a little shocking that our bowlers were ineffective after that. Half of the side has gone back to the dressing room. That's the
Our
first
spinners
thing.
are.
Very interesting that 3.7 and 3.8 पे दो bowlers end किए हैं, which is
Hmm.
better than our best bowling figures today. The second thing is कि ये काफी दिन से there has been a lot of dominant talk on the group and on Instagram as well that it is going to be an easy tournament for India to win. Nobody is a
Hmm.
challenger except probably South Africa, probably New Zealand, because usually Australia is so strong in yellow that we are often probably second favorites. This time since they are so down and out, तो लग रहा है कि India easily जीत जाएगी Champions Trophy. With today's
Hmm.
performance, मेरे को
Hmm.
लगता है perfect chase and clinical are not good terms to use today.
Definitely
Hmm.
not.
So
Definitely not.
maybe I would call it an easy victory, comfortable victory, but we have seen much more clinical wins in World Cup also. So
Hmm.
I could see some cracks there today.
Hmm.
And that ties to the point that I was making in the morning that I am getting a lot of spidey sense and some of the data that I've seen that Pakistan is going to do something close to an upset or an upset on Sunday. And इसमें
Man.
आज बस यही प्रूव हो गया, let's not discuss that in detail, but आज बस यही प्रूव हो गया that there are cracks that exist in the Indian
Hmm.
team.
No, it definitely exists, Joy. Or it brings to my point yesterday, जो मैंने claim किया था, New Zealand will beat India. I'm more confident in that now. And you're absolutely right. Like tournament के पहले जो Indian team के सबसे बड़े proponents हैं, even like someone like Akash Chopra, वो भी बोला था कि India की spin bowling is after Afghanistan. But after watching today's performance, maybe it's equal to Bangladesh, so tied at second. And so
Hmm.
you're right. There are some cracks in the spin department.
नहीं ये जो
Also, I don't know why we didn't play a
ये जो
game changer like Varun
ये
today.
जो चेज का क्रैक्स था ये
And
तो हमें थोड़ा पहले से ही पता था टू बी ऑनेस्ट आज टारगेट मुझे पता है अगर सब 250 टारगेट होगा there is lot of experience there is lot of quality in our team. I'm not saying see there are conditions our batsmen can conquer those tough conditions. I agree but we have to worry about conditions. I mean if the pitches are like this I'm absolutely actually sure that India will beat both Pakistan and New Zealand if the conditions are like this because these are the
let's see, Shikhar.
conditions
We'll see.
we
We'll
love to
see.
play. We love to play in these conditions. West Indies was similar where we won the T20 World Cup.
No,
But
I think the
We'll see how
biggest,
this outdated batting will go over New Zealand. We'll see. We'll see. And by the way,
ये
yeah,
like
yeah, we
today,
will see
this is
थोड़ा
still
Pratik.
an
We
I
will
ICC.
see
never
Pratik. We
This
will
is
see.
I will
this
And
is
never
what
still.
will you
agree
do
with
when India
Pratik.
beats New Zealand? What will you do then? What we will see?
We'll see. We'll see what you will do when India lose to New Zealand.
Okay, okay. Let us see then. Let us see. You are so
Yeah, let us
confident
see.
about New Zealand,
Yeah, yeah,
and
100%.
and
yeah.
you
So
are
TV's
talking
all
I
the
think
way.
about
the
this shit
phrase,
in every
no, I
video.
think the, no, I think the phrase is let us see. So let's leave it there and let us see.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to say that one more
So
thing is that
No,
it's
you can't say
uh,
okay.
like that in every video, Pratik. You are just coming every video. You are hijacking with New
please, I'm
Zealand
not talking
stuff,
about KL
man.
in every video. I have other agendas than KL. I have other bullet points.
I have only kale in my agenda, bro. I was talking about the chase, the entire chase. I was not talking about kale. Okay. So you are
Okay,
talking
let's just
about
agree
New
that
Zealand in every
today's
every
game.
video you come and you start talking that New Zealand will beat India. What is this, man?
Tell me, would you agree that after today's match, we can say Indian team is not invincible because this T20 should have been chased in 30 overs. Being an ICC tournament, net run rate is important. Net run rate is important. You
Okay.
should try to chase it
Whoa.
40 overs. Okay, 40 overs.
Whoa,
Net run rate,
I wouldn't make such claims in Dubai,
net run
man.
rate is important. Would you agree
No,
net run rate is important? Would you
dude,
agree
net
net run
run
rate is
rate,
important?
dude,
Could you have
what
sent
net run rate
Hardik
at
instead of KL to
230,
finish it
man?
quickly?
At
Could you have sent Hardik?
230, no, no, sorry. Hardik is not meant for these situations, these conditions. The
Why?
ball is not coming onto the bat. Ball is
Why
not
you're
coming onto
worried
the
India will
bat,
lose
man.
50 runs? India
A
will not be
while
50 runs
back,
and
there was
seven
a
wickets.
claim
Will
on
lose.
the group that he's one of the best white ball players. So, as far as
Yeah.
I know, the
Sorry,
match
I didn't
today
make
was
that
played
claim.
with a white ball, sir.
Sorry, we did not make the claim that he's one of the best white ball players. I said he's the best seam bowling all rounder
No, no,
India
that
has
is
had since
today.
Kapil
No, no,
Dev.
I just a minute.
Only today.
Wait, you're saying when India
Even
needs 50
before.
runs in 90 balls, you guys are worried we won't make it, and you can't say a finisher to do the job quickly? 7 wickets in hand, 50 runs is needed, and you're still
Uh,
sending KL.
Guys, I think we are keeping. I think what's important is it's not just the numbers, required number of balls and required number of runs. उस हिसाब से तो after the first 10 overs, how many runs did we need? 160 in 40 overs, right? Should have been done like that's 4 runs an over, right? Should have been done how much earlier? So I'm not talking pure numbers. The conditions did not allow for lot of aggressive batting. If you in fact see Jakir Ali and what was the other
जब तक
guy?
रोहित खेल
Tawhid
रहा था भाई
Ridwai's
तब
inning.
तो
But
रन रेट अच्छा
Tawhid
चल रहा
Ridwai's
था.
strike rate
भाई
was much better.
भाई
I would
रोहित आउट
say
भी तो हो गया ना यार.
Tawhid was
Tawhid
much better.
Acha.
Ridwai, see 100 of 118, not extraordinarily superb. It
100
was
of 113.
decent.
100 of 113.
118,
I can
118.
only just
So
justify. We can
it's
only justify
decent.
Virat's slow batting because he needed to be spend some time in the middle. So that is okay.
Why
He took some
why you
time.
justify Virat's slow batting? You why he needed special time? Is there a special time to be given to Virat? Why he is having that privilege? You need to give special time to Virat Kohli. What is this? This is an ICC tournament match,
No, no,
man. This is not
no, I
your
would, I would
bilateral
like,
match that you need to give spend time for practice. This is not a practice match. Okay, you need to give special
no,
time. What are you even talking about,
I
man?
would I would like to bring about one point which I think we need to discuss, as I think Joydeep mentioned. How on earth did we allow Bangladesh to get from 35 for 5 to 228? I think that is the point that we need to discuss a lot more on this channel. People only criticize our batting. I have been coming on this show earlier, many series. Kuldeep has not been turning the ball when even part timers are turning the ball. There is
Hmm.
some issue either with his injury
Hmm.
or with the pace at which he's bowling, and he's not giving enough revs on the ball. If he bowls faster, he's losing revs on the ball. If he gets revs on the ball, he's too slow and there's no zip off the pitch. So that perfect balance is not coming with Kuldeep. I'm really worried because Varun Chakravarti is not a big turner of the ball. He's more a mystery bowler who
Yeah.
will turn it a couple of inches, not inches, inches is a lot, couple of
Hmm.
millimeters either way, right? So I am worried about our spin attack. I agree that there
But
are some
but I want
cracks
to raise
there.
a question on the selection today. First of all,
Yeah,
going even before
yeah.
25 for 5. How come you bring a player into the squad and of course you exclude your backup opener and you disrupt the entire thing, which is unlike of Indian teams in the Indian squads in the past. You do that disruption and you bring in a player from sidelines to the main squad, and then you don't play him in the 11th.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Of course, you are valuing his X factor and playing, getting him into the squad. I mean, a lot of players would feel that. Uh, it's just unfair. I thought Varun should have played today. Only logic I could have think if thought is they are protecting his mystery element.
It's
Maybe
possible.
they
I
But
want.
was
that
also
is not a
thinking the
global
same.
strategy that you see very often, first of all.
It's
But if he
it's
So
the
would
Sri
have
it is
lost
Lankan
today, then
strategy.
his
It's the
strategy would
Sri
have
Lankan
absolutely
strategy,
backfired,
Jay.
man.
it is
No, no,
very
Sri Lanka does it. Sri Lanka
because
does
they
it
can
a
afford
lot.
to do that. They have multiple mystery spinners. I am
Yeah.
very surprised that Shikhar, you did not proceed to the second name, which is an apt part of
Yes,
this conversation.
yes,
Harshit
Leaving out
Rana.
Arshdeep in this
yeah.
Uh,
form is nothing but
Hmm.
experimental, except Gigi and Rohit trying to experiment something or trying to do a semi-final between Shami and Rana to see who is the better, like one of the two bowlers that should play Pakistan and that should play New Zealand. There is no
Hmm.
other understanding why Arshdeep. the commentators kept saying that the last 10 overs of death of Bangladesh's batting is going to be very critical because Asdeep has handled these situations and gotten us out. He's there,
Hmm.
but out of the squad,
Hmm.
Bumrah is not playing.
Hmm.
So again, coming back to one point, Hardik has to contribute more with the ball.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
cannot. He
Let,
cannot be a
I'll,
Jadeja
I'll, I'll give my two
economically.
cents on Arshdeep. Dude played one ODI versus England. He played one ODI. He played the entire T20 series. He played one
Huh.
ODI. And if you are treating this as a semi-final between Shami or a practice match, because Virat also needs time and everyone else is getting, it's treating it like a practice match. So why you are not playing Arshdeep, man?
No,
Like
no, I agree. I think one thing that baffled me is, man, you can have Harshit Rana all you want in the squad. I like him. Forget about favoritism from Gambhir. I like Harshit Rana, but no way I would play him over Arshdeep. I
Yeah.
mean, no way. I mean,
Hmm.
Arshdeep has got, I think he's a new ball swing bowler, which Harshit Rana is not.
Hmm.
He's
Yeah.
a death ball Yorker bowler, which Harshit Rana is not.
Hmm.
Probably the only phase of the game where Harshit
Hmm.
Rana could potentially be more impactful. That too, not on these pitches, on more lively
Hmm.
pitches in middle overs. In,
Hmm.
for example, in Dubai, I would still back Arshdeep even in the middle overs with his cutters. If you
Hmm.
remember, he got the New Zealand openers out when they were smashing it to all parts with slower balls in the last
Hmm.
series, the one
Yeah,
game that
most
it lost.
shocking omission today, and I think the
Oh, that's the
only
most
point
shocking.
in though the only point in the entire day when Cricket Caviar was collectively shocked
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah.
same page.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we have a lot of
Absolutely.
differing opinions today.
I
So
think ये गौतम
there is
गंभीर का
also
कुछ तो
a
कीड़ा है
highlight
भाई.
of inconsistency in selection with the same coach. You often see same kind of decisions or same kind of players come in. Now I'll highlight one inconsistency. If you are telling me as Gautam Gambhir that Harshit Rana is not too inexperienced and new to be in my 11 in an ICC trophy, then how are you defending the exclusion of Jaiswal from the squad or the playing 11 in fact?
नहीं, एक और चीज जयदीप जो तू टच किया, आई थिंक तू वो पार्ट छोड़ दिया है, मैं वो पार्ट वापस लाना चाहता हूँ. ऑफ कोर्स कार्तिक इज अ बिग सपोर्टर ऑफ हार्दिक पांड्याज एबिलिटीज, बट भाई 3 ओवर 4 ओवर क्या मतलब तुम थर्ड सीमर खेल रहे हो, you're in the side as a proper third seamer, right? Because you're only going to play two seamers and you are bowling 4 overs in the game when you needed that breakthrough in the middle overs, because there was dropped catches and whatnot. You dropped one catch yourself, but you had to bowl Hardik Pandya in the middle overs today, and you
No, no.
had
Is that
to
is that a
ask him to
Rohit?
get
No, no.
wickets.
Sorry, guys. Is that a
Hmm.
Rohit problem or a Hardik problem? I, I'm really
It
confused
is a
here.
Rohit problem.
Did
Yeah, it
Hardik
is a
say he's
Rohit
not
problem.
going to bowl? So
Nahin,
please don't
but
blame
then what
Hardik
is
for bowling
the
4 overs. Yeah, I
nahin,
don't
but
know.
then what is the role
I
of
don't know,
Hardik
man.
Pandya exactly? He's hardly
I
going to
don't know.
bat
See,
in
I'll tell
Q3.
you something. No, no, no.
Hmm.
I'll tell you something. In Dubai, if
Hmm.
you wanted three seamers, and if you're bowling at least 28 overs of seam, Hardik was there to
Hmm.
give you 7 or 8 overs. I think Rohit decided for some strange reason that he wanted 26 overs of spin or 27 overs of spin.
Hmm.
And that is up to Rohit. In my opinion, Kuldeep
Hmm.
Yadav, my biggest problem is Kuldeep Yadav, man. The guy
Hmm.
comes into the team not to contain. I would have him get smashed you know, for 5, 6 and over, even in matches like this. But
Hmm.
I wouldn't I wouldn't accept if he doesn't take a wicket in the middle overs. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not something that is not his role. Letting get smashed for 70, but if he pick 2 wickets,
Hmm.
you know, that's enough for me.
Or Abhi,
But
I don't think Varun is going to be slotted in directly.
हाँ मुझे भी
Hmm.
वही थोड़ा कंसर्न है बट वरुण का जॉयदीप माई सेंस इज
Hmm.
Varun is better on flatter pitches than Kuldeep.
Hmm.
On sluggish and turning pitches, we have to back Kuldeep to get his turn back. My concern is that the part-time spinners of New Zealand and part-time spinners of England, like Liam Livingston, are turning the ball more than Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah, we do
Okay?
not even have that term in the Indian side anymore. There is no
Ah.
Sehwag or Yuvraj or Tendulkar to bowl those quick 4 overs.
No,
Matlab,
but
have you
Kuldeep
seen the
is not
difference,
even
Shikhar?
spinning.
एक फुल टाइम ऑलराउंडर सीमर जो हम इतना बैक कर रहे हैं ग्रुप पे, उससे
हम्म,
उतने ओवर्स कराए जा रहे हैं जो पहले सहवाग ऐसे एक सांस में फेंक देता था, एंड दैट वाज अ कंटेनिंग स्ट्रेटेजी. तो that is a very good point. Like part-time like spinners of other countries are doing better, at least are there in the first place. We do not have them. ये क्या strategy है? I feel one overarching theme that is coming out of this discussion is there is a lot of wrong game reading being done by Rohit pre and during the game. हार्दिक पांड्या का आप रोल पूछ रहे थे. हार्दिक पांड्या का बॉलिंग में रोल है 30 to 50 में 10 ओवर देना, नॉट इवन 7 or 8 आई वुड से. सो बेसिकली 7 or 8 उस बॉलर को देना चाहिए प्राइमरी जो उस दिन फेल करता है, विच टुडे प्रोबेबली इज कुलदीप यादव. तो bowling
नहीं
4
नहीं नहीं,
overs is
ऑलराउंडर,
definitely a
सी
Rohit problem.
ऑलराउंडर कांट बी, नो, ऑलराउंडर कांट बी bowling more overs than a regular seamer. I don't agree with that. Regular seamer is supposed to bowl 10 overs.
What
All-rounder is
what
supposed to
if
fill
Shami
but
8.
why
gets
are you
whacked?
typecasting?
What if Hardik gets whacked, man? Why can't Hardik get whacked if Shami can get whacked?
No,
I don't
that is
get this
okay.
point.
That is okay.
Getting
So
back
That
is
that's
is
a
the whole
completely
different
point.
thing,
okay.
Karthik,
Ah.
but you are typecasting Hardik as a all-rounder who is, like Shivam Dube or someone. He's a very good death bowler and he's accomplished lot of things with his
No,
bowling.
sorry.
But
That's not my description of Hardik. I think you've gotten this wrong. Hardik Pandya is the best seam bowling all-rounder option in India. Number one. Number two,
I will disagree.
at
Okay.
yes, there is nobody else. As simple as
See,
that.
on talent we
there is
can
Nitish
disagree,
Reddy.
Shekhar.
Not
There is
on
Nitish.
talent.
Yes.
I'm
वो
talking on
डेटा पे
numbers.
Karthik can always defend this. Karthik can always defend
Ah,
because the NKR has never been given a chance.
dude,
But then Karthik,
NKR.
the question from us is, you are not the best seaming all rounder to go and do 7 or 5 6 overs.
So that
Yeah,
is a Rohit
absolutely.
problem, man. I mean, see, Hardik is not saying I don't bowl me more than 4 overs. I don't get this.
But
Why is
somewhere
Hardik being picked up for
they
something
must
like
have
this?
discussed, right? Because it can't
No,
be
did
a
Hardik get,
completely
what
Rohit
was his
decision.
figures? I didn't notice Hardik's figures. What were his figures? Can
It's 4
someone
overs
look
20
it
or
up?
something. 4 overs 20. Quite
So,
4 overs
meaning
20.
4 overs 20 for
so I
him.
just want, so
Hmm.
it's not like he's gotten whacked. Okay.
Hmm.
Yes,
No,
he's
no
gone 5
one
runs
was
and
in
over.
like position except Kuldeep. Yeah, no one. Kuldeep should not
No,
have
he
got
did
back.
the role well. He did
Honestly,
the role
Kuldeep should
well.
not have got back after 35 for 5. No one should have
No,
got
no.
back. But
My
yeah, he
only
did a
point
decent
is,
job. Yeah.
no. If he didn't get whacked and he didn't get bowled enough,
Yeah.
that's a Rohit problem.
No,
That's not a
today I
Hardik
cannot
problem.
But
say there
certainly
was
they
an
would have
issue with.
discussed with Hardik, right? That you're going to bowl this much or you're going to
No,
probably.
it's not Hardik who decides that I will get the ball, man. That's not the point. If Rohit Sharma decides that he wants 26 overs of spin, he is bowling 26 overs of spin. As simple as that. Rohit Sharma has three spinners in his disposal and three seamers at his disposal. Now, either you bowl 26 overs of spin or you bowl 26 overs of pace. Both can't happen. If he decides that he wants to bowl 26 overs of spin, he will bowl 26 overs of spin. Now, Ravindra Jadeja, I will throw that back to Jadeja. Jadeja bowled 9 overs today. Akshar bowled 9 overs today. Harshit Rana only bowled 8 overs, despite picking 3 for 31. Okay, in his eighth over. So Harshit Rana itself didn't bowl his full quota being a regular seamer. Where do you see Hardik Pandya coming in? It's a Rohit Sharma
But I
decision.
see because why I'm saying this and reiterating this is because I see as Hardik Pandya as a dangerous middle overs bowler, and I see that potency in him to pick wickets, which I feel if either he's saying no because he's afraid what may happen again because the fears
No, no, no.
of 2023
That is
ODI
not
World
true.
Cup is there. You
That
have
may
to
be possible,
accept it.
Karthik. That
Dude,
may be
That
possible.
fear on
dude, he
Hardik
bowled,
Pandya's fitness is always there.
dude,
He can break down
he
anytime.
bowled, he bowled more than these overs in the England series, man. There's no way he would be saying no. What I'm trying to tell you is if he was to be saying no, then he should have been protected in the England series. He bowled 7 8 overs in the England series. What are you saying? So that doesn't add up. See, all that is just conjecture in our head. Let's not get to that. I think fact is that Rohit wanted more spin on this pitch, which
Okay.
I find very baffling
Let's
because the
move
Pacers
on
picked
from
up 8
this
wickets.
topic. Let's talk about the good things. Shubman Gill and Akshar Patel almost getting a hat trick. Uh, So we have to also congratulate Shubman Gill, slowest 100 post 2019 World Cup, but it was the need of the hour, and he played quite brilliantly. Karthik and me had a big discussion on a game in Asia Cup 2023 where Shubman Gill had actually scored 100 versus Bangladesh, but it didn't convert to a win. At that time, the target was 265. How do you see this innings? How beautifully was it played? And I'll actually start with Joydeep first. Joydeep, what is your view of this innings? And then I'll come to Karthik.
I think it is near perfect. Read the game
Hmm.
great. Took his time.
Hmm.
Okay, let me start the reverse way.
Hmm.
Then come back to how flawless it is, and then come back to again the reverse way. So there were a lot of comments on Crick Info which were debating which is the better century today. That is when
Hmm.
I started looking at the data. That is when I started looking at the comments. They
Hmm.
have some internal metric which they publish using the MVP award.
Hmm.
So man of the match is Gill, but MVP today is Tohit Hridoy. Now
I agree.
it is
Hmm.
definitely going to be some balls played or boundaries hit, similar to the algorithm of Dream 11 calculation of points. Okay. Now, there was one very good point that, again, in all this Gill praise, let's not forget that Tohit Hridoy faced a more difficult, much more difficult bowling attack
Hmm.
and did the 100, which is a rare feat by a Bangladesh
And
batsman.
batted at 35 to 5, 35 for 5.
हाँ 35 पे 5 पे आया था. Like
Now
Gill had a
Gill didn't
quarter
play
of
at
the pressure.
35 for 5.
Hmm.
Gill
Of
had a
course,
quarter
of
of the
course.
pressure.
There is no
Now
debate
coming
on which was
to
the better innings.
critical
Hmm.
evaluation of Gill's innings, great. I mean, I am looking forward for more such innings where he actually has the presence of mind to anchor and stay till the end, get 70 plus scores. Because I think when Iyer also came in and he got out, I think he got out just inside the circle, right?
Hmm.
So at that time, the commentator said a great thing that probably if Shreyas Iyer did not depart now, Gill
Hmm.
would have gone blazing guns. So
Hmm.
the entire premise of attrition pitch and turning tables and like difficult chase today, slowest 100 since 2019, we are saying it was the bad decision of the other teammates of Gill that put him in that situation. And it was his
Or
talent that got him into the Indian 11 today through which he
or was
came out.
it bad phase that compelled India to get confused and go for that net run rate
No, I
post?
think they would have had net run rate at some point of time. After Gill's
Hmm.
departure, sending Aksar is again like a distress signal. Oh, I want to send a lefty batsman to counter the spin. India and Gautam Gambhir are big favorites of lefty-righty combination, which is again a
Hmm.
strategy that you won't see in global cricket very frequently now. All these IPL teams do that.
Hmm.
Kolkata has done that very frequently, lefty righty combination,
Hmm.
but I don't
Hmm.
see it as a very effective strategy. Okay, Akshar played well.
Okay.
Gill's innings was flawless. Now, just
Hmm.
ending my part so that you guys can start your evaluation of Gill's innings. My entire point throughout the day is, and I'm glad I was shown that I was wrong today. It was an out of India innings. It was a century innings. No one can point a finger at that. He has
Hmm.
a lot to prove on fast pitches outside
Hmm.
India in big tournaments. So CT के end तक if he has another 50-60 score against a
Hmm.
well ranked team or a well like informed team, that
Hmm.
would be the litmus test of Gill.
Hmm.
Otherwise, there is going to be some
Okay.
discussion.
Okay,
Some meat in the
Karthik.
discussion is there.
Karthik, moving to you, what is your take on it?
No, I think Gill in ODI cricket has just been like a run machine. He plays on autopilot.
Hmm.
There was a little bit of debate with Joydeep. I won't go into any of those details, but the
Hmm.
idea is on faster pitches. Well, Gill has played some total of 7 ODIs. Two of them were in his his debut series, one in Australia, and three others where he averaged over 15 New Zealand. So my whole point is that it doesn't matter what the conditions. He's averaging 51 in Sri Lanka, 100 plus in Zimbabwe, 60 plus in West Indies, 50 in his last 3 innings in New Zealand after his debut series. Australia, 1 innings where he got out for 30. So that's the summary of his outside Asia batting. In Asia, he's been flawless. We all know in India how good he's been. Sri Lanka is 51 average. So this
Hmm.
innings, I like it. I liken it to the test innings he played against England. Was it the fourth test match? Yes, right, at home, where उसको हीरो नहीं बनना था, इधर भी उसको हीरो नहीं बनना था, उसको सिर्फ अपना काम करना था, एंड वो अपना काम किया। सिंगल लिया, सिंगल लिया, सिंगल लिया, सिंगल लिया, सिंगल लिया, कुछ नहीं किया। He didn't do anything out of the ordinary. It's not necessary. And वो सिंगल लेते गया. That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Same thing he did in that fourth test. So it shows a lot of maturity कि I don't want to be hero.
बट जब हीरो नहीं बनना था तो ठीक है, बट किसी और को, जैसे उस फोर्थ टेस्ट का आप बात कर रहे हो, वहां पे ध्रुव जुरेल केम इन एज अ न्यू बैटर।
बहुत बढ़िया खेला ध्रुव जुरेल, बहुत
हाँ,
बढ़िया
he
खेला,
had to
बट
take the initiative
उसमें
of
गिल का
that
फॉल्ट
chase.
नहीं है ना। अरे
हाँ,
because Gill, Dhruv Jurel was hitting it better and Gill was the set batter. Again, it comes down to that. In a spell, जब आप दो नए बैट्समैन आते हैं, again in front of शोएब बशीर, भाई जिस हिसाब से वो घुमा रहा था बॉल, all of them get out. And you're only, if Gill took chances and got out, then India's chances
my
would be a
point
lot
being,
weaker.
this knock also, matlab, we saw, even though the equation was pretty simple, we saw that KL finally taking some risks, out of character risks. Do you think it was some kind of matlab pressure they were feeling because they felt that Gill was not batting as per the expected, maybe whatever they had in picture, that we want this net run rate when, and I'm just asking
No, I
questions.
don't
I
think
mean,
there was net
it's
run
just
rate.
questions.
I don't
I'm,
think we were looking at net run rate. The moment
hmm,
I think Rohit got out and Virat and Gill set up shop, to your point, for the next 10
hmm,
overs. There's no point of net run rate. If we were looking
hmm,
at net run rate, we should have
hmm,
attacked with Virat. Virat got out. Probably
hmm,
the only other time, to Joydeep's point, where we would have looked at net run rate is when
hmm,
Shreyas Iyer, okay,
hmm,
and Akshar Patel went after the bowling. But once
hmm,
they got out and you're four down, forget net run rate, man. There is no net run rate in the picture.
hmm,
And Gill, I don't know. He just played calmly, played his role.
hmm,
वो भी दो चार छक्के मार के 70 ऑफ 80 बॉल्स पे आउट हो जाता है यार, तो
hmm,
उसको गाली तो नहीं देते, वो बोलते भाई इंटेंट से मार दिया मैंने। भाई इधर इंटेंट की जरूरत नहीं है, मुझे गेम खत्म करनी है। वो भी दो चार
hmm,
छक्के, ही कैन यूज हिज फीट एंड हिट 1 6, गेट स्टम्प द नेक्स्ट ओवर, नेक्स्ट बॉल,
hmm,
क्या
अभी
जाता तुम लोग।
जितना lower in the priority NRR has become in this discussion,
hmm.
there is definitely a possibility it may come back to bite us.
Even if, especially
No,
if
but
Pratik's predictions and your
हाँ,
predictions come
and
true, then
okay,
definitely it
fine.
will become a factor. Like you
Let's
guys
do an
have been
apples to
going on in the
oranges
groups.
comparison.
You
I'm
are
doing an
going
apples
on
to
about
oranges
Pakistan, and there is
comparison.
another guy who's going on about New Zealand. If that all comes true, but I still back India actually in Dubai. The way I've seen this pitch, now I'm actually going
हाँ.
to back India
So I'm
because.
going to make an apples to oranges comparison. I would
Hmm.
rate yesterday's New Zealand's victory better than today's India's victory. No
No,
conclusions out of this comparison, but
definitely.
no, of course,
they were
New,
of
also
course,
like
New
they
Zealand gave a
there's
built
no
in
complete
doubt about
performance.
it.
thrice.
New Zealand gave a complete performance, man. It was
Ah,
batting, bowling, fielding. You had all three.
Joydeep, New Zealand are the best team in the tournament, ahead of India, according
Ah,
to
come
me.
on.
Simply because of two factors which India don't have. One, New Zealand plays spin very well and bowl spin very well. Both
Hmm.
Bracewell and Santner showed in Pakistan on
Hmm.
less friendly pitches.
Let's see.
India
Let's see. I think we are we
plays
are
spin
we are running
okay,
out of time, Karthik.
and
We are running out of time.
yeah,
So yeah, let's see the India New Zealand preview. We'll be talking about this in much more detail. Thank you, viewers, for joining in. Please do
all
subscribe
right.
our channel Cricket Caviar, and we'll be coming back tomorrow for the preview of South Africa